Hello everybody, this is Crow Indigo Intuitive Tarot. Start off with clearing my throat. It's a little dry in the office today. I have a new deck and I wanted to just do a very quick all signs read and take a look at the art on this new deck. It's quite nice. It is the Modern Witch Tarot, and having issues again with the focusing of the camera. I tried doing some recording yesterday and it really was just not working at all. It keeps flicking in and out of focus. Anyway, we're going to just pull 2 or 3 cards for each sign. The Modern Witch Tarot, and it is Lisa Sturl. The creator of this deck is Lisa Sturl. I think she's the artist as well, but let me see if there's any other indication here of a different artist. The booklet design is Mike Medaglia, but I think that's just the design of this booklet. I don't think he's the artist. Pardon me. So I want to read to you the foreword, because I think it will give you a good indication of why this deck is unique and how it has been created, why it's been created. And then we'll dive in with some readings. But while I'm reading to you, maybe you can take a look at some of the cards. Let's just see what we get here. They are an art style very similar to the traditional Rider-Waite, except in this case there are some updates, right? It's the Modern Witch, so you'll see the occasional cell phone showing up, which is sort of fun, and you'll see most of the characters are sort of feminine. Different types of female characters. A lot of the positioning of the characters and the background are quite reminiscent of standard Rider-Waite. I'm quite liking the artwork here, actually. Let me just collect them for a second. I do want to show you one challenge with this deck before I read that forward. I know I'm getting distracted here, but it's been a few days since I've been with my cards and in front of the camera, so I'm a bit out of practice with the whole dynamic at the moment. It also feels really good to be back here with all of you. So this is the Modern Witch Tarot deck, and this is my Thoth Tarot, which is more of a standard size deck. This is the problem. When it comes to shuffling, this deck is almost twice as thick. The cards are really solid stock, so that's good because that means they will handle wear and tear quite well. But you'll see it makes it a little harder. I've been practicing. I've gotten to a point where I can, in fact, shuffle them okay. I can shuffle them this way, right? But it is challenging. You know, it takes a little getting used to, because the cards themselves, they don't bend much, right? They're very thick and they're glossy. You can see the lights being reflected. So I don't know how often I'll use them in the videos when I'm recording in this location, because they are you know, they present a bit of difficulty when it comes to the glare factor. But most people that are using decks aren't using them for recording, right? And usually you can find a method of shuffling that will work for you. So I don't know. I mean, there are pros and cons. It makes it a little harder to work with because they are so thick. See, if I tried to do just a standard shuffle, it's incredibly difficult to do, and they're likely to go everywhere. Let me see if I can pull it off. There. Yeah, see, they don't really bend much. Maybe if I broke them in, they would, but it seems a shame to break them in because the glossy looks nice, you know, the art is beautiful, and I kind of don't want to beat them up just so that I can shuffle them the way I standardly shuffle. So let's see. I'm going to read you this forward to the deck, and this is from Vida Ayala. The universe has always been a large, mysterious place. Whether water, bones, or tarot, throughout history humans have used various forms of divination to attempt to understand the world around them. Witches, like divination, can be found across all cultures. They are holders of wisdom and paranormal power, and tarot is often associated with them. In centuries past, these powerful femme people were revered and sought for their knowledge about both the natural and supernatural. They were the healers and respected counsel of commoners and royals alike. Modern witchcraft has in many ways become a refuge for the disenfranchised. Tarot is a way to explore oneself as much as the world. For many people of color, LGBTQ+ people, and femfolk, it can be a way of retaking power. It can be a way of connecting with a part of themselves that they didn't even know they were cut off from, and of seeking answers to questions they were previously afraid to ask. Lisa Sturl is both an amazing artist and an amazingly kind, insightful person. Through her work, she has helped hundreds of people to connect to the magical space that is made of imagination and insight. What you're holding in your hands is a beautiful example of love and respect for tarot. Here you will find yourself and those you love all represented as the complex, powerful beings that you are. Young, middle-aged, old, femme, androgynous, masculine, black, brown, white. You'll find artists, scholars, and fighters, warnings and celebrations, and most importantly, enlightenment. This set is perfect for those who are well practiced in the art of reading tarot, or those that are seeking the wisdom of the cards for the first time. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, visualize that which you seek. The answers are waiting for you. Blessed be. So I think that's a really nice complimentary forward for this book. I don't know Lisa Sturl's work, but I can say I like the art in here quite a bit. In the book itself, there is an introduction from the artist, the creator. Then there's a review of each of the cards, right? The major arcana, the minor arcana, all the way through. Standard interpretations for the most part, but there's some nice text in here and some subtle nuances there. Then there's a discussion here about how to read tarot, which makes this a nice deck for somebody who's just starting out. It's a small book you can easily carry with you in the cards, and it gives you a lot of guidance, right, on how to read. Then it gives you some sample spreads, and I quite like those. They're interesting. So, Modern Witch Tarot. Let's jump in here. We'll start with Sagittarius. So I guess, yes, by the time I post this video, I think it will be Sagittarius season. I want to just, what do we want to do? What are we going to ask today? Maybe we can just, we're at the very beginning of Sagittarius season, so maybe we can just ask the cards to let us know what's coming for Sagittarius season. So, what's coming toward us in the weeks ahead, first few weeks ahead for Sagittarius? We have the Ace of Wands, Justice, and Temperance. So you've got some balance coming into your life. You have a new offer here some new creative project perhaps that you'll be beginning during the next few weeks. This project helps you to bring more balance into your day-to-day. It looks to me as if perhaps things have been fairly emotional for you recently, Sagittarius. This wand here is pointing toward using your head. The Justice card is sort of a balancing of head and heart, but I'm drawn intuitively to the sword, telling me that whoever I'm picking up on here, you've been really kind of overly emotional for you. Not to say that you aren't an emotional being, but lately you've been very guided by emotion, and you're feeling a little exhausted by that. You will welcome this balance. This new creative project that you work on will allow you to get more into your head, less into your heart, and sort of even out the influences for you. I will just say I burnt myself. That's why my finger has a band-aid on it. I'm just telling you that because sometimes people comment on readers' hands. Also, I have this lovely new ring. I'll show you. My Shattuckite. It's quite beautiful. And my moonstone. Not to brag, but I really love these rings that I found recently. Okay, so Temperance is about sort of waiting patiently. You know, you're finding the space within you that allows you to slow down just a little bit. Find the meaning in what you're experiencing, and the emotional overwhelm that you've been feeling, the big waves of emotion that have been hitting you. You're now able to sort of ride those waves really with a fair amount of ease, because you're starting to balance it out with some rational thought as well. Let's see, Sagittarius, Capricorn. Go give ourselves some cards for Capricorn, please. Just 2 or 3 cards for Capricorn. One more for Capricorn, please. Thank you. All right. Let's see. We have the Queen of Cups, the Hierophant, and Temperance in reverse. So I think that the next few weeks are going to bring you a calm feeling. Capricorn, you're feeling comfort. I think, you know, the sense I get intuitively is that you will be surrounded by family during the holidays that are coming up. That gives you a comforted feeling. It's not, you know, there sometimes people think holidays and there's this constriction and this stress. That's not what I'm feeling for this particular Capricorn, or the set of you out there that I'm picking up on. You love the holiday season. You love being surrounded by your family, and it's very comforting for you. So you're feeling calm, you're feeling comfortable, you're feeling just a really warm heart space feeling of compassion for your family and for those that are around you. And I think that something about this time, this year, with you being with your family, has you in the role of teacher. So with the younger people in your family, maybe even with the older folk in your family, you really are able to connect through your compassion and teach them a different way to see things. You know, it's not like you're sitting up there in front of a classroom or anything, but just in your interactions with your family, you're able to open their minds and their hearts to a different perspective maybe than they have had in the past. And it's because of your calmness, because of your compassionate connection with them, that this is the case. So That said, the Temperance in reverse is telling me that you just need to be a bit cautious about going to extremes. So if you are sharing your perspective and you're helping to open some hearts and minds to a different way of seeing the world, just be sure you don't go overboard with it. You don't go to an excess point with your, don't start to proselytize. Don't become an evangelist so much. Just be in the moments with people and read the room, basically, I guess is what I want to say. Be aware of the folks, the body language and the tone of the people around you to make sure that you're able to actually share your message with them in a way that does not become off-putting. Because you have a real opportunity during this holiday season, Capricorn, to help some people broaden their perspective and understand the world in a different way and open their hearts in ways that they may not have in the past. For Aquarius. Aquarius, what do we have for you? So, let's see. Moon in reverse, Page of Swords, Three of Swords. You're afraid of something in the coming weeks. It could be that you're misinterpreting some signs, misinterpreting some clues or some interactions. You may have received a message or will be receiving a message during the next few weeks, and it seems like that message may include some gossip. You're curious, you want to understand more. Whatever the message is, it piques your interest and you want to understand more. And you're not really going to want to be gossiping so much, but you're so curious about what's going on that you can't really help yourself. You need to explore and to learn, to ask some questions, to find out more about what you're being told. And when that happens, there's a good chance that you misinterpret what you learn, that you are, you're not seeing the full picture because this is gossip, right? It's a little bit hurtful. And you may be exploring it because you don't believe it's true, but in doing that, it's sort of fueling this fire and making it grow. So it's not you're not intentionally making things worse, but it does lead to some confusion and misinterpretation, and that can lead to hurt feelings. For you or for someone else, I can't really say, but just be aware of that. If there's something that is very, very intriguing and you really want to know more about it, take some time to pause and question your motivations in wanting to know more. Why do you want to know more? What does it have that presents value to you in your present day? Use your discernment, right? Because you'll receive many messages, I'm sure, in the month ahead, in the weeks of the Sagittarius season. And you'll really have to figure out for yourself, Aquarius, if your mental curiosity and desire to know is because it's just such amazingly juicy gossip, in which case that could lead to some misinterpretations and confusion and hurt someone, either yourself or someone else. So think about that one as your messages come in. Just be a little bit aware that there could be some baseless gossip going around, and it could be so intriguing that you really just want to listen and you want to know more and you want to find out. There's nothing wrong with mental curiosity, but we have to be careful when it starts to hurt other people. because then again it could be hurting you. Let's see, Pisces. We have for Pisces. Oh, a whole lot of cards. I think we'll put those back and we'll start over. Just 3 cards, please, for Pisces. That's 2. One more. I think that one. All right, Pisces, let's see what we have for you. We have the Page of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the 5 of Wands. So we have here a happy surprise coming your way in the next few weeks, it would seem. There is potentially a renewed capacity to love. If you've been feeling a little, you know, more head-focused than heart-focused, you could find yourself in the next few weeks starting to open up that heart energy again. Something new could be coming to life of an emotional nature. It could be a new relationship. It could be a new level of connection with somebody. It could be just a renewed or a new level of understanding of yourself on an emotional level. The Queen of Wands is next, and that queen has courage, joy, determination she's bringing with her. So something about this new connection or this renewed capacity to love is filling you with joy. It's making you feel courageous. It's making you feel quite determined to move in a certain direction. And I think that's pretty exciting. The Wands can be about creativity as well. Passion, creativity. There could be a new connection or a new relationship to yourself that brings forward a creative project that you've been meaning to work on. And finally you find the space and the time and the passion, the motivation in the next few weeks to really push that forward. Our third card is the 5 of Wands, and this tells me, you know, you're willing to fight for it. This determination that's coming with this queen, whatever you're working on, whatever is being born here, this connection, this relationship, this project, you are determined, and in that determination, you're willing to fight what needs to be fought. You're willing to be, you're willing to persevere, to be resilient in the face of challenge. You have here the chance to potentially face some competition, though I don't know if it's people so much as, you know, responsibilities. Like, this seems to be like something that you want to give a lot of time and attention to, but meanwhile the rest of your life is going on, and then the holidays and all of that. So you may find that there's some competition for your time that you would really like to devote to this project. You may need to find a balance there, Pisces. Okay, Aries. Let's see, find 3 cards for Aries. Just trying different types of shuffling here. To see what will work best. It really is quite a large deck. It's a bit cumbersome. I'm getting used to it though. And it may be not an issue for people with bigger hands, right? Alright, Aries, you have the Star, the High Priestess, and the 7 of Cups. So, with the Star, we have faith, hope, rejuvenation, healing. It's not really family-friendly card. I mean, she's completely naked, right? But there is definitely a message in this deck of not being shamed, right? Not feeling shame, not feeling there are parts of you that are that must be hidden, that must be tucked away because they're not acceptable, right? So that's, I think, part of the reason why this card is drawn the way it is. There's a rejuvenation of the spirit here for you, Aries, that that you don't need to hide the parts of yourself that traditionally you have felt shamed into hiding. And that's going to be different for each of you. You know, it's a very controlling emotion or emotional manipulation, shame, right? And different people feel shamed about different things. Some people will feel shame if their clothes aren't ironed every day. Some people will feel shame if they carry credit card debt. Some people will feel shame if their body does not conform to the size 0 imagery that has been given for women, or the ultra pec and arms and you know, like the big muscle man image for men. There's a lot of different ways that we get shamed in our culture, and this deck and this card particularly, I think what I'm intuitively hearing for you, Aries, is there is healing here. There is hope of being rejuvenated, of getting beyond that tired old story of shame and really connecting with who you are. And the High Priestess is coming in, bringing the ultimate in intuition and the energy of sort of that inner voice, the inner knowing, the direct line to the divine, here to support you as you are getting in touch with yourself, whole and naked before the world. And then the Seven of Cups comes in, which is a fantastic energy to follow that, because you're shedding all of these layers of shoulds and shame and who others think you're meant to be, who others have told you you have to be. You're getting past all of that, Aries, using your intuition, getting directly connected with your divine. And the Seven of Cups comes in and says, what do you want? Look at all these options. There are so many choices for you. There are so many paths you could take. They're not all in your highest and best, but it is your choice. You decide what's next for you. Where are you going? Where are you going to put your time and energy and effort? Where are you going to let yourself find pleasure? Where are you going to explore who you could be? Now that you're getting rid of all of those layers of who you are, quote unquote, supposed to be, and really getting in touch with your divine self, where do you want to go? And that's a good question for you to be thinking about in these weeks ahead, Aries, because you have a fresh slate. You have a new beginning. You are being freed on a really deep spiritual level, it would seem, and that's pretty amazing. That's a lot deeper than I expected to go with any of the signs during this quick read. Who's next? We have Taurus next. 3 cards for Taurus. All right. 1, 2. Need a third card for Taurus. That one. All right. So, Queen of Cups in reverse, High Priestess, and the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Taurus, you are feeling a little insecure maybe. You're feeling dependent on someone and you don't want to. Except maybe there's an aspect of it where you feel actually like, how do I say this? There is a possibility that in your insecurity, in this perceived dependence on someone else, that you actually like it because you get to be the victim. I am sorry to say it that way. This isn't for all of you, and please don't send hate mail, but we all kind of fall into that once in a while, I think, where you've been struggling really hard and you're exhausted, and it would be so much easier if you could just say it's someone else's fault and not your own. If you could just surrender and say, I can't do anything else. I have to do it this way. I'm being forced into this position by someone else. It's giving up your personal power, letting somebody else have your personal power. And when you've been fighting a long time, it can be exhausting, and you can feel like that's the right choice because at least you get to not be responsible, to not take the blame, so to speak, for things that aren't going well. But it's not a good long-term solution, and things never will get better if you don't take your power back. I think the High Priestess is coming in to say this is a possibility, this falling into martyrdom, this playing the victim, this settling in too comfortably to the victim role. The High Priestess is here to remind you who you are. You are directly connected to divine. You have the ability to make your world whatever you choose it to be, but you need to break out of that mindset that you are being acted upon, that you have no control, because it's not true, not at all. And you won't be able to see just how many options you have and how much power you have until you break out of that mindset that you can't do anything about it, that you're stuck, that you just have to go along and everybody else is in control and you're dependent on other people for your happiness. So try to spend some time focusing on the divine part of you, your intuition, that actually, if you sit and quietly listen to it, will tell you that you are capable of anything you choose to go after. You're not dependent on anyone. You're an effing queen, okay? Why? You are a queen. Why are you acting like a martyr? That is not what the world wants from you. That is not what divine wants from you. It's not making you happy. The Two of Pentacles in reverse, I think, is just telling me the same thing. You don't feel like you have any choices. You don't feel like you have control. You feel overwhelmed, and you feel like you don't even know how to get back to the balance point where you feel better. Breaking out of this space of feeling insecure and dependent, breaking out of that is going to help you see that you have lots of choices. And I think by the end of that Sagittarius season, you will have regained your equilibrium. I'm fairly certain about that, Taurus. So hang in there. Remember who you are. You're a damn queen. All right? You don't need anyone. Let's see, Gemini. One more card for Gemini. Just one more card. Alright, so Gemini, you have a completion, a positive outcome, a completion of a cycle. something is coming to an end. Something new will begin eventually, but right now you're having this moment of culmination. That's followed by the Nine of Cups energy. This is you know, very financially secure, independent person generally. It can be wishes coming true, but it can also mean that whatever you know, is ending, you know, if it's a relationship that's ending, that you're quite, you know, comfortable and quite secure in your singleness. It could be that whatever is completing is a wish come true for you as well. There are two different interpretations there that could be, you know, overlaid with one another. Queen of Wands is good. It's joy, right? It's courage, determination, joy. You're getting in touch with your creative side. You are developing a sustained vision of what you want your life to be, and it looks like you're making good progress toward it. So I don't know if this is a completion that's just occurred, and Sagittarius season has you feeling good and comfortable and happy, joyful, or if that is an ending that's happening during Sagittarius season. We have next Cancer. Let's look for Cancer. Two more cards for Cancer, please. All right. Cancer, you have the King of Pentacles in reverse, the King of Swords, and the Hermit. So, some strong masculine energy here I'm feeling, which doesn't mean that this is a reading for males, but there's a strong masculine energy focus for Sagittarius season for those of you that are Cancer. So with the King of Pentacles in reverse, I want to say that that is not necessarily a bad thing. It can mean, you know, you're being indulgent about your sensual desires. And the King of Swords is all about thinking with your head, not your heart. So there may be some sort of strategic indulging going on. Let me see if I can explain that better. This energy is very disciplined. It's very focused on what is the truth. Very focused on using the intellect, not getting distracted by emotion. And this one in reverse is about the sensuality, the body, right? So there's maybe some how do I say this delicately? There may be some hooking up going on, Cancer. There may be some wonderful physical interludes with another person during Sagittarius season for you, but it is not about your heart. This is about pleasure and not about romance. So take that as you will. Thinking of an alternate interpretation for you, for those of you not interested in that sort of engagement. We could say that this King of Pentacles in reverse focuses a little bit on money to the degree that it becomes greed. This focus on money, this interest in money becomes a bit greedy. And when partnered up with this other king, you could be looking at you could find yourself in a job situation, Cancer, where there are a couple of men, a couple of masculine, I should say, not men necessarily, but a couple of masculine managers or leaders. They could be the owners of the company, they could be just, you know, executives, but you get the sense that they don't really care about the people that work for them. What they care about is making more money for themselves, and that sort of is off-putting for you. So that may lead you to think about the situation, to be a bit closed off during this Sagittarius season while you consider your options, because Cancer is not really a sign that likes that energy. The no cups involved energy here is not really to your taste, and you may go sort of into a period of introspection where you're considering your options and looking for your personal truth. You like your job, but is this who you want to align with? Or you're having fun, but if this is all that's on offer in the dating scene, wouldn't you rather be alone? Because you want the cups, you don't really want this. You might enjoy this for a short period of time, it might be fun, but it's not what you want ultimately, is what I'm sensing from whomever I'm picking up on. So it'll be interesting to see where you're at the end of Sagittarius season. I think that, whichever interpretation works for you there, you could have an enjoyable time making money or hooking up or whichever. But toward the end of Sagittarius season, you realize that you need a little bit of a change. You need your water back. You need your cups in the equation. It doesn't mean that you walk away from the job. It doesn't mean that whoever you're having fun with, in a sensual way, isn't going to be around at the end of Sagittarius season. They very well could be. But the dynamic will need to change for you to feel like it's a good fit for you, Let's look now at Leo, right? Cancer, Leo. Let's look at Leo. Ooh. One more for Leo. There we go. Very definitive cards here. The Tower in reverse, the Eight of Cups in reverse, and the Two of Swords in reverse. All right. So, what are we looking at for you, Leo? During Sagittarius season, what's coming? We have, it looks like you have disaster averted here. You've delayed some major change. Something you've done, consciously or unconsciously, has stopped something bad from happening, or stopped, I shouldn't say bad, that's not right, because it's not always bad. It's stopped or delayed. We don't know yet whether it's delayed or stopped, I have to say that. But it has stopped or delayed something that's dramatically going to affect your life. So something has happened that's given you, potentially given you an indication that this major shakeup is coming. And you've taken an action which has put it on pause, or made it go away entirely. We don't know yet. We can't tell. And it's also possible that you don't even know that some decision you made averted this disaster, or averted this dramatic shift. Okay? So, to think of an example, this maybe you've heard of this concept of a butterfly in one country flutters its wings, and then there's a tsunami halfway around the world, and that would not have happened if but for the butterfly flapping its wings, and then that made some pollen fall off a flower, which landed on, another bug who carried it to a certain location, and then the weight got to be too great, and a tree branch fell. I mean, like random things, all in a long succession. Everything is related. Everything is impacted by every other event, is essentially the point. And so you may have averted a dramatic shift in your world without even knowing that your actions have put it on hold or made it not happen. I'm getting a little too obscure here, I think, and too deep in the weeds. So let me move on to the next card, where we have the Eight of Cups in reverse. And this again is it's about avoidance. Okay, so in this card we've avoided something, a dramatic shifting event. And here we're avoiding dealing with a decision that needs making. Both of these cards actually can speak to fear. So this can be a fear of some change coming, and this can be a fear in reverse like this of making a choice. So maybe you are aware that you need to make a choice, but you also know that when you make that choice, Leo, things are going to dramatically shift. And the Two of Swords, interestingly, is also about making a difficult choice. When it is in reverse, it is talking about feeling like there is no right choice, feeling confused. And so I think when I look at them all together, you're feeling confused, you're avoiding a difficult choice. You know needs to happen. You know it needs to happen. You know it's time for your life to shift, for one chapter to end and another to begin, for a book to be closed, perhaps. You know what it is. You know what the major decision is that changes everything, and you haven't made that decision yet. But you're also just afraid of what could happen once you make the decision, because you can't know. This is the future, right? You don't know. You think you know what the impact of your decision will be, but you don't know. It seems like during Sagittarius season you're stuck in this space of fearing the worst and not moving forward, not making the choice, not taking the step, because you're afraid of how bad it will be when you do, what the impact will be. But while you're not making the choice, you're stuck in this awful place of fearing the worst. And the longer you fear the worst, you call it to you, okay? I don't really want to get into that whole long discussion during this video, but we make our reality, Leo, so it's better if you find a way during Sagittarius season to make your choice, to take your step, and to move forward, because it may not at all be the disastrous outcome you're anticipating. All right, Libra. No, Virgo, sorry. I want to skip Virgo. Virgo, 3 cards for Virgo, please. Oh, all right. Virgo. That's pretty exciting for you for Sagittarius season. After not much movement, something is starting to come loose and move quickly toward your 10 of Cups. Your 10 of Cups is inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams coming true. There's contentment in your heart, and the wheel of fortune is turning. Things are moving forward in a positive way for you. So I don't really have much else to say, Virgo. It looks like a really good read for you for Sagittarius season. You're looking at some positive change, you know, movement after you've been waiting a while, perhaps, for things to start shifting and moving, and dreams coming true, inner happiness and fulfillment. Let's look at Libra. Libra. All right. The 6 of Wands is the victory card. Something is coming together nicely. You are succeeding at something that you've been working on. You're starting to get public acclaim for your efforts, which is really nice. 2 of Wands in reverse for Libra is kind of saying that you're playing it safe a little bit. You're being celebrated for your successful efforts, but you haven't even given it half of what you can. You're kind of holding back a little bit, which I suppose bodes well because you've still got a lot in the tank to give. The King of Pentacles comes out toward the end of Sagittarius season for you. This is abundance, prosperity, security. You're developing a sense of financial self-confidence. So it looks like a pretty great Sagittarius season for you, with some success being celebrated, more to give, and a growing sense of being very confident in your ability to create and make money, grow an enterprise. That king could also be somebody who is financially well established, who happens to come into your sphere toward the end of Sagittarius season, with a new challenge for you, a new job opportunity. It is possible that that's the case. Let's see. Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. Wow, okay. So there is a sort of a culmination of something right now. Something is coming to a head, and you have a little doubt right now. You're a little unsure about something. Your gut is telling you that something's coming, is that something is happening, but your head doesn't quite believe it, because there's part of you that doesn't think you deserve it. And what's coming is this new beginning and an offer of love, or a resurgence of feeling in a relationship that you're in presently that has kind of gone a bit stale. But you're really, you're aware of this, you know this is happening, but you're a little bit doubting because you don't think you deserve it. I think your challenge during Sagittarius season is to accept that you are worthy of love. You're worthy of a fresh start. There is nothing in you that makes you unworthy of good things. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. If you have breath in your body and an open heart today, and you go into this new beginning, this new connection, or this reconnection with open heart and open mind and kindness and compassion in your soul, you can have this fresh slate, this new start. And it can be beautiful. And you do deserve it. It doesn't matter who you were yesterday. Yesterday doesn't exist anymore. Okay? This is about the present moment, and it looks pretty promising. So let yourself be happy. Let yourself love. Let yourself be loved. And I think the bigger message for all of us during Sagittarius season, working with these cards, kind of intuitively, what I'm feeling is what I think I might do my November read for, which is being open to receive. There are many of us that are quite good at giving, and not really as able to receive. So for you, Scorpio, it's about accepting and allowing yourself to receive. And for all of us, I think, it is about learning to receive. believing ourselves worthy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and thank you for the likes, shares, and subscribes. I checked the page earlier today, and it's just crazy. I mean, it's not numbers that would impress most anyone, but to me, it's pretty impressive to see the number of subscribers reaching toward 200. It's crazy for me. I don't know. I love reading the cards, and I love that it's helpful for some of you, a lot of you, I hope, and I just want to say thank you. I'm deeply grateful for you being here and for listening and for sharing your feedback and for sharing the videos with others, and I hope you have a fantastic Sagittarius season. Check out this deck. It is really I only got it a few days ago, and I'm really vibing with it. I'm getting used to it. It's worth learning how to shuffle the really thick stack, to find creative ways to shuffle it, because the art is beautiful. The energy of this deck, for me anyway, I think is quite nice. And I think it's, it's a nice deck. I really do like it. I think the guidebook is quite handy as well if you are on the go with your cards. So check it out. I'll put a link in the show notes below as well. I hope you have a great few weeks ahead. We'll see you in the next video. Blessings.